Why do we need date table in Power BI? A very common interview question. First of all, I will tell you the reasons why we need date table, and at the end, I will give you a quick demo. First reason is time intelligence function. If you are ever make use of time intelligence function, then date table is mandatory. But the real question is why? If you are making use of time intelligence functions, then it's important to have you continuous dates. These continuous dates are available in the date table. But let's say you do not have a date table, and let's say you are making use of sales table. Now sales table will not have the continuous date. In that situation, time intelligence function may give you incorrect or ambiguous result. Second reason is financial year requirement. Let's say the customer has given you the requirement that we want the financial year to be considered from April to March, okay, not Jan to December. By default, Power BI considered Jan to December as a financial year, but customer has given you requirement, so you need to handle that accordingly within your data model. How will you do that? Very simple. If you have ever seen the date table, it will have the date column, and alongside it will have month, year, quarter. So you can add one more column that will give you the fiscal year. You just need to add the DAX formula or the logic for the fiscal year, and that will give you for each date what is the fiscal year, whether it is 25 26 or 24 25, whatever is the fiscal year, that will get defined. That is how you can fulfill the customer requirement. The third reason for having the date table is for filtering the data on the basis of multiple columns. What I mean is, let's say you have got a sales table and it has got the sales data on the basis of order date and on the basis of ship date. Now you have created a table. The first column is showing the data for total sales on the basis of order date, and second column is showing the data on the basis of ship date. Now the requirement is, if we apply the filter from 1st June to 10th June, the data for both these columns should get filtered properly. That means for the first column it should be filtered on the basis of order date, and for the second column it should be filtered on the basis of ship date. So how will you handle this requirement? So I hope you are not thinking of creating two different slicers and then tell the customer, see, if you want to filter the data for order date, use this slicer, and if you want to filter the data on the basis of ship date, use this slicer. बहुत गाली पड़ेगा, सोचना भी मत. The solution is, we need one common column that should filter the data for both the columns, and that can be handled using the date table. If you make use of date table, what will happen is there will be a relationship between this date table date column and the sales table date columns, okay, and that relationship will help you the filter data using just one _date column which is in the date table. The next reason is for handling the missing dates or missing months data. So let's say you have got a sales table, it has got January month data, Feb month data, but March month, let's say there is no data, then there is data for April month. So what will happen is, if you do not make use of date table, the output will show Jan month sales, February month sales, then it will directly show April month sales. March will get skipped altogether completely, and we do not want that to happen. So in order to avoid that, we can make use of date table because it will have continuous dates. So this will make sure that it will show Jan month data, Feb month data, and for the March month it will show 0, and then it will show April month data. That is how this requirement will also get handled. Do not skip the demo. I will show you the demo very quickly. It's important. Okay. To explain why we need date table, I have created two different apps. The left app is without the date table in the data model, and this right one is with the date table in the data model. I'll just show you the date table which is in this data model. This has got calendar score date, year, month, and quarter. So I'll just show you. This is a total sales measure that I have already added, and let's say we want to see the data for year, then month, and then I want to see the total sales. So this is handled very easily when we have a date table, and I hope you already know that we have this date table here also, and there is a relationship between the sales table and the date table. I have explained that in the previous lectures as well. Now, if we go to this app which doesn't have a date table, and let's say I want to do the same thing. For this first app which has got this order date, if I take this order date, it is basically dates, but I want year and month. So I thought, how can I handle this without date table? So I had a solution that, okay, I can just right click and click on create hierarchy, and that should solve the problem. But then I realized, okay, it is not creating the hierarchy. I don't see year and month and all those things. That means this has not worked. Then I realized, okay, there is a setting, file, options, and setting. Then you click options. Then you go to this load data option and click on auto date time. What this will do is this will create the tables in the backend, which are not visible, of course. But now if you have a look at this hierarchy, it is showing me the data. So I thought, okay, I was able to handle this very easily. See, now I just need to add this year and I just need to add this month. And I was so happy that, okay, I am able to handle this without the date table. But then there was a problem. I wanted to check whether this will really work when I think about year to date. So I went to these measures and I will use this total YTD function. And if you observe carefully, this total YTD should have ideally done the summation of this first value, second value, right? But that cumulative sum is not happening, right? Because we are not using date table. Now let us use the exact same measure in the second app and let us see if that is working or not. Because in this app also I'll do a very same thing. This is the exact same measure. I'll just drag this. And if you observe carefully, in this case, cumulative sum is happening. See, until this 12th month, there is a YTD sum happening. That means it is working properly when we have a date table. So this is what I told you, that when you make use of time intelligence functions, then date table is mandatory for getting the correct result. Okay. I don't wish to make this video boring by extending this further, and you cannot understand everything just by watching the video. So I want you guys to practice at your end, try out things. That way you will understand a lot of other things as well, and that will give you a different kind of a confidence. And most importantly, if there are any other interview questions or topics that you want me to make the video, then please mention those topics in the comment section. And also make sure that you like this video, subscribe, because I want the benefit for my efforts. Okay, and I hope the same for you as well.